Take on It by its_Kingston on AO3. Episode 14, Chapter 14. Luz only slowed down once she reached the fence surrounding Blight Manor. She had run the entire way there and was now scaling the large metal gate in her path. Luckily, the gate was built with an integral design, giving Luz plenty of foothold to climb over it. Luz continued running up the unnecessarily long driveway to the front door. She grabbed the golden knocker attached to the dark wood of the front door and slammed it twice. Both doors swung open after a minute, revealing two people Luz assumed were twins. "Who are you?" they both asked at the same time. "Luz, I'm here to see Amity," she exclaimed. The twins glared at each other for a minute, probably communicating in some strange sibling way. "Are you the reason Mittens is upset?" the boy asked. "Mittens? Oh, Amity. I kinda... No, well, yes, kind of. That doesn't matter. Is she here?" Luz stuttered out, her thoughts still scrambled, and her tiredness not helping. "Are you here to check on her?" the girl asked, eyeing Luz suspiciously. "Yes, I swear." Luz firmly nodded. "Okay." The twins said in unison, stepping to the side to let Luz walk in. "He's upstairs," the boy began. "Third door to the right." The girl finished. Luz thanked them, silently questioning how they were able to do that. Was it practice? She arrived outside the door and knocked. Luz heard ruffling and the soft cries through the wooden door. "I'm not in the mood for pranks," Amity said quietly. Luz knocked again, a little louder this time. Leave me alone," Amity said again, sounding more annoyed. "Oh, those are the two that let me in," Luz asked through the door. More ruffling was heard as Amity shuffled around. A soft click unlocked the door and slowly opened. "Why are you here?" Amity asked. She stood in the doorway, barely visible due to the lack of light from the room. She had closed the curtains and turned the lights off, sitting in the dark. "To check on you?" Luz said. "Can I come in?" she asked, gesturing behind Amity. "No," Amity said, quickly shutting and locking the door back. "Fine," Luz said, turning her back to the door. She sat down against it. "I'm gonna stay here until you let me in," she declared. A small thud came from the other side of the door as Amity copied Luz's motions, sitting down with her back to it. Silence filled the air, occasionally broken by a sniffle or a snap break. It seemed to physically hurt Luz, seeing her friend this way. The normally strong and cool Amity reduced to a crying ball of sadness. Luz breathed deeply, collecting her thoughts. "You know, none of that was your fault," Luz confidently began. "Willow was being a jerk. You didn't make me hang out with you, or bully me or anything." She paused, not hearing anything from Amity. "I really, really like hanging out with you," Luz said, adding a second really to show how much she did. Amity giggled a little at that, causing Luz to smile again. "Did you go talk to Willow?" Her tone dropped again, the smile fading from Luz's face. "What? No," Luz said sternly. "I ran right after you. Why would I go talk to Willow? There's nothing she has to be upset over." Luz stopped, thinking for a minute. Other than her actions, she should be upset about those. "I thought you'd go after her," Amity blankly said. Luz could hear Amity tapping her fingers on the floor, something she'd come to recognize as a nervous habit. "Please open the door," Luz said, standing up. Amity quietly stayed for a minute. Luz could hear her stand up as the lock clicked out of place. The door cracked open and Amity peered out spectacly. Luz pushed the door open and quickly throwed her arms around Amity. They both stood there silently, with Luz hugging Amity as tightly as she could. "No, it wasn't even a contest. I'd always come after you," Luz mumbled. Amity raised her arms up, wrapping Luz in a hug. They stayed there until Amity stopped crying, streaks of dried tears evident on her face. Eventually, Amity broke away from the hug. "I should clean up," she said quietly, walking to the bathroom that was attached to her room. "Sure," Luz mumbled back, giving a soft smile. She turned on the light before going to sit at the edge of Amity's bed, patiently waiting for her to get back. The door opened as the bathroom light was flicked off. Amity stood there, looking a bit happier. "Thanks," she said as she walked over to Luz. "For coming to check on me," she clarified before sitting down beside Luz. "Don't mention it," Luz said back, smiling now that Amity seemed to feel a bit better. They sat there in peaceful silence. It was broken after a while as Amity yawned. "You tired already? It's not even lunchtime," Luz joked, smiling at her friend. "Crying is hard," Amity said back, playfully nudging Luz with her elbow. "Then take a nap," Luz brilliantly said, watching as Amity nodded her head and laid back down before asking, "Are you going to sit there the whole time?" Luz pretended to think about it before pointing at a chair in front of Amity's desk. "I was actually going to sit there the whole time, but I could sit here." Amity just sighed in response. A moment of silence passed before Luz declared, "I'll take a nap too." Amity looked at her confused, realization setting in later. "Wait, you mean here?" She pointed to her bed, her face turning red. Luz planned on laying on the floor, but Amity's suggestion left her speechless. Well, almost speechless. "If you want me to," Luz said nervously, shrugging her shoulders and standing up, prepared to be kicked out of the room. "Yeah," Amity said quietly, barely loud enough for Luz to hear it. Luz did a double take, quickly searching Amity's expression for a hint of sarcasm. "Seriously?" Luz pressed, sitting back down on the bed. Amity just nodded, scooting over to let Luz lay down. And she did. Luz laid down beside Amity, her heart pounding so loud she swore the twins could hear it downstairs. After an awkward minute, or rather an awkward 10 minutes, Luz slowly moved her arm around Amity, trying to pull her friend closer. Before Luz could, Amity moved, laying her head in the crook of Luz's neck. Luz could have sworn her heart melted in that moment, the warm and fuzzy feeling swarming her body. Her face hurt from smiling so hard as she looked over at Amity. Luz tightened her grip, not enough to hurt Amity or make her uncomfortable, just tight enough to make her feel secure. The warmth that filled Luz rocked her to sleep, peacefully, dreaming as she held Amity close. "Come look at this," Ed Whisper shouted. He stood in the doorway of Amity's room, peering in. Em came over and copied his position, looking in what he saw. "Aw," Ed squealed, seeing her sister curled up beside Luz. "They look so happy," she whispered, a smile growing on her face. She took out her phone and snapped a picture, intending to send it to Amity, and maybe Luz, later. "Have you ever seen Mittens this relaxed? She's so uptight all the time," Ed asked, dragging his sister out of the room. "Now that I think about it," Em trailed off as she followed Ed out, closing the door gently behind them. "I haven't. Not in a long time." "Glad she's finally comfortable around someone," Ed said. He normally messed with his younger sister, but seemed genuinely happy now. "Guess we made the right call letting her in." Em shrugged as she followed Ed down the stairs. He hummed in agreement, heading into the kitchen. Ed surrounded around. "I've got a great prank," he said, rummaging through the cabinets. Em put a hand on his shoulders. "Let them be. Mittens will kill us if we ruin their moment." Luz yawned and stretched, feeling something on her. She opened her eyes. Amity was still there, sleeping peacefully. Luz smiled when Amity rolled over, meeting her eyes. "Good morning," Luz half-assed. Amity laughed, sitting up to check the time. "It's 2:30 p.m. "Good afternoon, then," Luz said, sitting up too. Amity looked over at her before smiling warmly. "Thank you for coming over to check on me." She paused for a second. "Really, I mean it." Luz smiled back. "You seriously don't have to thank me. I wanted to come over here anyways. Besides, I got to meet your weird siblings too." As Amity laughed and agreed, the door flung open. "We're not weird," the twins said in unison. "Waiting outside my door is weird," Amity grumbled. "Oh." Em smiled mischievously. "You enjoy your nap?" Amity and Luz quickly looked at each other, while Amity stood up, trying to usher the twins out. What nap? You didn't take any naps. Amity sputtered out, causing Ed to laugh. Em pulled out her phone and quickly typed something. Amity's phone chipped, causing her to scazily scoop it up, fumbling to open the message. Her face turned tomato red as she saw the image of her and Luz cuddling. Why did you take that? She exclaimed, sounding a bit angry, but also a little happy that she had the picture. Because you two were so cute. Ed clapped his hands together in front of him, pretending to swoon. He fell over and Em caught him, only adding to their act of annoyance. Get out! Amity grumbled, not hearing Luz walk up behind her. Luz peered over her shoulder, taking in the image on screen. If you send me that, I'll make it my lock screen, Luz jokingly said from over Amity's shoulder. Amity wordlessly opened Pentagram, clicking on Luz's profile, and sent it. Luz's phone dinged, and Amity turned around, a mischievous grin plastered on her face. Go ahead. Change it. Luz fished her phone out of her pocket and grumbled, changing her lock screen. She held it up for Amity to see, a smile glued to her face. You're just like them, you know, Luz mumbled. Amity glared at her before bumping Luz with her shoulder. I'm not. I was going to let you get away with not buying my lunch, but now I demand it, Luz declared, trying not to look stern. Amity only laughed at her attempt before suggesting a different idea. I could order pizza, and we could watch movies and play games here. Luz gasped in awe. You read my mind. Amity made the phone call, ordering enough for the twins too, so they didn't rob the pair of their pizza. Should be here soon, Amity said, sitting down beside Luz on the bed. The TV sat on the foot of the bed, facing them as they lay down. What should we watch? Luz asked, watching as Amity scrolled through the catalog. They were layering in the same position as earlier, Luz's arm wrapped around Amity. It was comfortable, though neither of them wanted to admit that they liked cuddling. So a silent agreement was made. Cuddles now. Questions? Never. Amity turned on a movie, snuggling close to Luz. After getting 30 minutes into it, they heard a knock on the door. Ed called up the stairs, letting them know the pizza was here, and Em grabbed it from the delivery guy. The twins probably broke an Olympic record, bolting up the stairs to deliver the pizza straight to Amity's room. Hey, lovebirds, Ed said, opening the door. Pizza's here, Em said after him, entering the room. Luz and Amity hesitantly sat up, distancing themselves and trying to act normal. Thanks, Luz said, standing up to grab the pizza. Why'd you have to bring it up here? Amity hissed, probably angry she and Luz had to split. We're being nice, Ed reasoned, an innocent smile crossing his face. We're just helping out our little sis, Em said, the same smile on her face. Amity groaned, standing up physically, to kick them out. Stay out, Amity demanded, slamming the door for effect. Sorry about them, she said, turning to face Luz. They're pretty funny, I don't mind, Luz shrugged, offering a plate of pizza to Amity. Sometimes they are, she agreed, taking the plate. But right now is not that time. Luz laughed, settling back into her seat before beginning to eat. They ate their food and watched a few movies before deciding to do something else. It's 6 p.m. Should you head home soon? Amity asked, sounding disappointed. Are you asking me to stay here? Luz asked, already knowing the answer, but it was funny to ask Amity directly. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Amity shrugged before glaring at Luz. But since you suggested it, you should stay. Luz laughed before picking up her phone. It revealed the picture of her and Amity cuddling, making Luz smile. I've seen your lock screen. Show me your home screen, Amity said jokingly. Luz turned red and pulled her phone case closer to her. Nope, she replied, knowing her lock screen was a picture she had taken of Amity when they were walking to Eda's house together. The one where she looked so incredibly beautiful with the sunset washing over her. Not that she didn't always look beautiful. Luz stopped her train of thought, deciding it was irrelevant. Okay, now I'm suspicious. It can't be that bad, Amity said back, trying to reason with Luz. I can't make the call if you keep bothering me, Luz said, giving Amity a playful glare. Amity sighed and stopped pressing. Hey, Eda. Who is this? It's Luz. Wait, did you not check who was calling? No, that takes the fun out of it. What fun? Never mind. I was just calling to ask if I could stay over at Amity's place. Pass the phone to the Blight kid. Luz handed the phone to Amity, who gave her a confused glare as she raised the phone to her ear. Hello? Hey, Blight kid. If Luz stays over there, you gotta make sure she gets to school on time. She oversleeps. Like a lot. I can do that. Cool, because if she skips school, her mom will have my head. And probably yours too. Oh. Okay, later, kid. Tell Luz I said bye. Eda hung up, leaving a slightly confused Amity holding Luz's phone. Eda said bye. She relayed before adding, You're also allowed to stay over, if I make sure you get to school on time. Amity handed Luz her phone back before grabbing Monopoly off the shelf behind her. Since you'll be here until tomorrow, wanna play? You're on. Their game ended at 11 p.m., taking 5 hours to finish, with Luz winning by $10. I swear you cheated, Amity said, yawning as she climbed into her bed. No way. I'm just better at Monopoly, Luz said back, following suit. It seems almost natural to both Luz and Amity to lay side by side, snuggled up together. It was clearly a friendly, platonic thing, so neither of them questioned the closeness. Okay, maybe they did. A lot. But neither moved away or said anything as they drifted off to sleep, warm and comfortable. Okay, that was such a cute chapter. I have to say this, Kingston. Kingston, okay, Kingston, look. Kingston. Look, Kingston, I have a bone to pick with you, Kingston, and I'm gonna say something, and nobody will understand. Maybe the people in a phone call right now with me, but, like, other than them, no one will understand. Kingston. Amity and Luz do this shit, right? They do this shit. That is lovers. What was happening in the first chapter of my fic that you were reviewing? That was not lovers. They were brothers. I swear to God. Anyways, Kingston, on to your fic. This was actually a really cute chapter. I was a little worried because I'm like, okay, we're at the Blight house. Where's Odalia? Where's the homophobic bitch? Is she homophobic in this? I don't know. Last time you made her homophobic. So is she homophobic in this too? Is she not homophobic? Is she just classes? Because if so, I have a bone to pick with her. Also, I think I was promised Raine and Eda action. Not action in that sense. Okay, wait, hold up. Just one of the tags is minor, Eda/Raine, and like where's them flirting? Is I don't picture Eda going into a bookstore, but they need to flirt. They need to flirt. But okay, we're already like a couple days. Like we have 5 more chapters left. Are they gonna get together? No, Kingston, normally you're really fast paced. You're kind of bumming me out, Kingston. I want them to get Kingston. Look, grab Luz's face, grab Amity's face, and just smoochy. It's that easy. Look, Kingston. I'm sorry, I gotta stop saying Kingston. Dude, I swear to God. I swear on Kingston. Okay. Serious notes, though. It was really cute. I think it was really cute. Also, Luz, who are you kidding? Cuddling your quote-unquote friend to sleep is not platonic. Well, I mean, it can be platonic, but when you add the fact that they're your lock and home screen, that changes shit. When we add the fact that you chose this person over your best friends, that changes shit. When you add the fact that you feel comfortable enough with this person, To be yourself? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Luz. Who are you fooling? You like Amity. Next chapter, hold up. We don't have a chapter name, but I'm gonna read a random passage. Okay. I read something, but I fear I've read too much. Luz lifted her head, slowly turning to look at Amity, who was smiling warmly as she sat down in the chair beside her. Luz sat up, raising her arm and rubbing the back of her neck. She cleared her throat before speaking. I'm, sorry. She spat out, tightly closing her eyes. Oh shit, sorry about what? Ooh! I'm excited. I also read Basha. Is Basha gonna come in? Oh my god. Ah! Okay. Kingston. What are we gonna do? Kingston. Okay, that's enough. Oh, wait. Don't think I forgot, Kingston. I like your writing. You did a good job. Thank you. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.